Yo, what's going on everybody? So today I want to have a conversation with you guys about why Jiraiya just made the biggest mistake he could possibly ever make by agreeing to train Boruto Uzumaki alongside Naruto Uzumaki. Now, don't get me wrong, I know a lot of fans, myself included, have absolutely fallen in love with the idea of Jiraiya being able to interact with Boruto and Jiraiya actually training Boruto. Like when I did my What If Jiraiya Never Died video, people were saying I can't wait to see how Jiraiya actually trains Boruto, and that's something a lot of people want to see, just Jiraiya seeing Naruto become the Hokage, Naruto get married, have children, Jiraiya interact with those children, Jiraiya being essentially a great grandfather to Boruto. That's something everyone wants to see, especially given the fact that Boruto is a lot like Minato and the fact that Boruto is pretty much a genius and doesn't have to work real hard to learn jutsu. So why exactly is it that Boruto training with Jiraiya is a mistake? So I'll break this down for you why I think that this is a terrible mistake. So when we go back to when Sasuke and Boruto originally traveled back in time, they got the warning that you can't interact too much with the past versions of yourselves or people that have a strong connection to you. If you do, you can potentially wipe yourself out of the timeline or alter the future that you're coming from. And when it comes to Boruto Uzumaki and Sasuke, the last episode has clearly hammered home the fact that Jiraiya is suspicious of both of them. In particular, it really feels as if he is suspicious of Sasuke. And so when you take all that into account and the fact that now you have Boruto, who Jiraiya has been paying very keen attention to, is now training with these two, and he flat out says that their chakra nature is very similar, and we don't know whether or not that's chakra change in nature or whether Jiraiya has noticed that their chakra appears to sync up. And having these two in a moment where they're interacting with each other and they're continuing to mix chakra is one of those things where obviously Boruto's not going to delete himself out of the timeline, but this could have a negative impact on the younger version of Naruto. Now, you have to remember that Urashiki is essentially watching everything from the background. Urashiki is plotting and waiting on the best opportunity to move forward to where he can capture a young version of Naruto. And by having Boruto potentially interact with Naruto in a way that will negatively impact Naruto, whether that be something where when Urashiki has them cornered, that Naruto's QB chakra doesn't able to fully sync up because of all of Boruto's meddling, that puts Naruto at a greater risk. The other thing is by having these two interact, it opens up the door for the possibility, even though it's very slim, it opens up the door for the possibility that Naruto realizes that Boruto's his son. And if something like that happens, this also puts Sasuke in a very dangerous spot, because this means that Sasuke is going to have to interact a lot more with Naruto, potentially using some type of genjutsu on him. And this is why this could be dangerous. Essentially, you have a moment where Ashura's reincarnation and Angel's reincarnation are once again interacting with each other, but the difference is this is a Sasuke who has essentially conquered that Angel chakra, whereas Naruto hasn't fully figured out the fact that he's a reincarnation of the Sage of Six Paths son. By having these two interact and by potentially having their chakra interact, it's one of those moments where this could alter the future of the Naruto landscape. Again, more than likely it probably won't, but Jiraiya is taking a huge gamble just based on the fact that he's trying to discern whether or not Sasuke and Boruto are actually who they're pretending to be. Obviously not the traveling circus acts, but whether or not they're actually someone who has Naruto's best interest at heart. Jiraiya is clearly testing them, but by gathering this extra intel, he's putting his student at risk. But I want to know from you guys, do you think the positive of Sasuke and Boruto and Naruto, Kid Naruto interacting is a good idea? Do you think that having Boruto fight alongside Naruto while they're training, syncing up their chakra, probably for some type of cooperation ninjutsu, in particular when it comes to Rasengan like we saw in the opening, do you think that's a good idea? Or do you think that they are potentially coming up with a way to potentially just retcon the events of the earlier parts of the series in order to fit into some of the stuff that's going on with the Boruto timeline? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.